Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and you're sheltering in place like we are in California. I haven't made any travel content lately because I haven't been traveling. I've been home for the last 3 weeks, but I wanted to make some new content for this channel. And one of the questions I get asked the most is what kind of gear I use on my trips. So I figured I'd cover that in this video. Also, if you want some travel content, I do have a video I made on the Trans-Catalina Trail. It's 5 days walking across the island that I made in late February. I'm gonna be putting that up next weekend. I think I'm gonna premiere that one as well because it's a 1-hour video. So if you wanna hang out, I'll put up a premiere time. You can come and chat with me and we can talk about the trail and anything else in California during that video premiere. All right, let's jump into the gear that I use when I'm making my videos. First off, this is my bag that I take with me basically everywhere I go. This is the Peak Designs Everyday Backpack. I love the style of it and I love how functional it is. It opens from the sides that you can just take it off of one shoulder. You don't have to take the whole backpack off. And then there's all these different compartments and there's different ways that you can change them around. I put my camera down here usually. I put a secondary lens right here, and then I'll put like microphones and any other accessories that I'm bringing with me in this last one. SD cards, all that stuff can go in here. And I just really love this bag. It's very durable. I've had it for a few years and it's held up really well. I take it with me basically all the time, so it's good to know that it can hold up. Also, I use this Peak Designs capture clip all of the time when I'm doing any type of hiking video. It allows you to just put this right here on the strap of your backpack, and then you can just take your camera in and out and it clips in. It's really secure, especially for like a big camera hanging off of it. I take it when I go hiking, I take it when I go backpacking. This is one of my favorite little things for camera gear. All right, so let's jump into my cameras. I use the Sony a7R III as my main camera. I love this camera. I used to shoot with Canon, but as I got into video more, I really wanted to switch to Sony because they do great photography, but they also have great video. I shoot everything in 4K, so it's nice that this camera shoots really good quality 4K. And then for my lens, this is the 16-35 f4. I use this lens for probably 90% of the stuff that I shoot on my channel. I like being able to have the wide, but still being able to zoom into the 35, which gives you a little bit of a different shot. Plus, when you guys see me recording like this all the time, that 16mm wide angle allows me to be able to do that. This is the lens that's on my camera 90% of the time. If I want to do something a little bit more with the zoom lens, then I'll take this. This is the 24-105 from Sony. It's my second lens. I basically always have it with me in that Peak Designs bag, but I probably only use it 10% of the time, just if I want to get some different B-roll, if I want to zoom in or focus on something that is too wide for this camera, then I'll use this lens. Then my last lens that I have is definitely a niche lens, but when I started doing video and photos, I got really into ultra wide. So I have a 12-24, which is an ultra wide angle lens from Sony. So this one's 16, this one's 12. The difference is actually a lot. This kind of looks like a fisheye when you're taking pictures with it. It's got a big old bulging lens right there on the front as well. I love this lens because it lets me capture just a huge amount of the frame. I used to shoot almost entirely with that lens, but that's why you see a lot of my early videos. When I was shooting video, it's all wobbly and weird. This is not a great lens for video unless you're holding it really steady and not moving at all. If you start moving, it looks a little bit weird, but it is great for photography. If you're going up doing the sequoias or any of the big trees we have in California, something like this really lets you capture a ton of the frame and fill the whole tree basically in one shot. Moving on from that, I have my microphone. I used to have a more expensive microphone, but I got this one because it has no battery. It just powered right off the camera. And I basically always forgot to turn off the other mic that I had, so it was battery powered, and I would leave it turned on and then I'd bring it back out again and it'd be dead and I wouldn't be able to use it. So I realized for me, this $60 microphone is perfect. It gets powered off the camera. It has a little dead cap for stopping the wind so you can get good audio still, and it's really small so you can throw it in the bag and it doesn't take up a bunch of space. Lastly, for my camera, I have a GorillaPod. I don't shoot a lot of tripod stuff just because I'm always going really fast, kind of run and gun type shooting that I do. Setting up a tripod takes too long and it's not something that I do very often. I do, however, love having something like this because I can easily just throw it in my backpack and then I can set it up really quickly. I can shoot a time lapse or I can shoot myself if I want to talk to the camera. So this is perfect for me. I have some nice tripods, but I don't bust them out very often. Moving on from that, we have a GoPro. GoPro is just easy to throw in your bag. It's lightweight. It's great for anything that has to do with underwater or water photography or videos or anything that I'm shooting. I have the GoPro with me. I also have a little extendable selfie stick thing that I'll use with the GoPro. So if I'm kayaking or something, I can get a good shot with this thing. I just have a Hero 7. I think this is a year or two old, but for me, I don't shoot a ton of stuff with this, and so I just needed something that's waterproof and that shoots 4K, and this one is perfect for that. So if you guys follow me, you know I don't do a ton of drone stuff, but I have started to get into a little bit more drone. I just don't like to have to carry a bunch of gear with me when I'm going. A lot of times I'll be doing a lot of stuff during the day, so the less weight that I have to carry, the easier everything is for me. But I did get this Mavic Mini a little bit ago, and I love it because, I mean, you can see it's basically the size of my phone right here, and so I can easily throw it in my pack and basically don't even know that it's there, and I can fly it around and get some good video or photos if I need to in an area. The only bummer about this is that it's not 4K, but for YouTube I'll usually just shoot at the highest quality setting and then upscale it to get that 4K video out of it. That's not true 4K, but the size is amazing, and hopefully in the future they'll have another one of these little small drones that's in 4K and I can upgrade to that. So people always ask me about gimbals. I actually don't shoot anything really on a gimbal. I'll try to hold this as steady as I can when I'm moving just to get a good quick 3 or 4 seconds, or even when I'm holding it like this, I can usually be pretty steady, but I also can fix it a little bit in Final Cut if I have to. However, I do shoot a lot of stuff with my phone, and what I've found is that the phone gimbals can actually be pretty good, especially if you want to do a hyperlapse or something cool. I have this DJI, I think it's like Osmo Mobile 2 or something like that. I think it's the second one. I like it because I can just throw my phone in it really quick and I don't have to set much stuff up. I can get a really quick, steady shot, especially for shooting hyperlapses, which would take a lot more time and setup with this camera. And if I just want something for YouTube, shoot a quick hyperlapse with this with the DJI gimbal. I also have a gimbal for my camera, but like I said, I only bust it out if I really need a specific shot, just because I don't like carrying it around too much or having to set everything up and do all the weight balancing. Lastly, this is my iPhone, the Max one or whatever, with the 3 cameras. I shoot a ton of stuff with this. You guys would be surprised about how much I actually shoot with my phone. And honestly, a lot of YouTubers and stuff are shooting with their phones, at least a couple clips in their vlogs. It's just so easy to use the phone, and it takes great quality. I mean, I can shoot 4K with my phone right now. So if you're like wanting to get into this and you're like, it's too expensive, I mean, you already have a phone in your pocket. You can make some pretty great videos just by using this and maybe investing in one of these $100 DJI gimbals. So I use that a ton, and don't be afraid to use that if you're getting into this as well. One of the things people would probably say is that this is an expensive amount of gear. I agree 100%, but I've been collecting this for years now. I buy probably 1 lens a year just to upgrade what I'm doing. And I have had this camera since it came out, so A7R3, I think it's probably 2.5 or 3 years. It's an expensive investment. This is my full-time job though, and so being able to have something good like this to capture good quality video and photos is super important. And if you're just getting into this, like I said, use your phone. You can take some great photos and video with that. If you want to invest in an entry-level camera, I really like the Sony a6000 series. I think they're on like the 6500 or something, and it's probably like $1,300, something like that. But if you get one of the earlier versions, you can get it for probably $500-600, and it has interchangeable lenses, so you can buy different lenses to use with that camera. And then if you want to upgrade the camera body in the future, as long as you're staying with that crop sensor format, you can buy a better camera body and you can still use those same lenses that you've invested in. So it allows you to continue kind of doing what I've done, which is sticking with the camera body and then investing in more lenses over the years. I think that's it for this video. Hopefully that was helpful for you if you were interested in the gear that I use. If you have another question that you want me to answer in my office, please let me know in the comments, as I'd love to make some more videos while we're not traveling right now. Thank you so much for just taking the time to hang out with me, and we'll see you on the next one.